Lesson 11 is dealing with problems about combining and separating. The first question that we're going to look at is a word problem, so read carefully as I read aloud. Jenny rode her bike on a trip with her biking club. After the first day, her trip odometer showed she had traveled 86 miles. After the second day, the trip odometer showed she traveled a total of 163 miles. How far did Jenny ride on the second day? Now with this question, it can be very helpful for us to draw out a picture. Let's draw a line segment. Okay, it's going to show how far she went on her first day. On her first day, she went 86 miles. That's a good long bike ride, 86 miles. After the second day, the trip odometer showed she traveled a total of 163 miles. So 163 miles total is going to go on the top, and we'll use a different color for that. 163 miles is our total distance, 163, all the way across from beginning to the end. How far did Jenny ride on the second day? So what we have to fill in is this missing information. Okay? How many miles did Jenny go on that second day in order to get a total of 163, given that she had traveled 86 miles on the first day? So we'll call this X miles. What we know is that 86 plus X is equal to 163. Now if we remember back to fact families in the first few lessons, we know we can rearrange this. We could say 163 minus 86 is going to be equal to our X value. Let's go ahead and do that math. 163 minus 86. We can borrow from the 1 to get a 0. We've got 16, but we're going to have to borrow from the 16 to get 15. We've got 13 on our right hand side now. So 13 minus 6 is 7, 15 minus 8 is 7, and 0 minus 0, well of course we have 0. So the answer must be 77. We need a unit. She didn't travel 77 light years, she traveled 77 miles. So make sure you put that in your answer. Whenever a word problem requires a unit, for your answer, make sure you put it. 77 miles, and we're all done with our first problem. There's a 4-step process that we can use to solve problems with patterns, and this is listed in your textbook on page 53. The first one is going to be to read the pattern and read the problem and identify the pattern. So read the problem and identify the pattern. If you need to pause it as we go, please do. This should be in your notes when we check them tomorrow in class. Step 2 is going to be to write an equation for the given information. Step 3 of our 4-step process for solving problems with patterns is going to be to find the number that solves the equation and check the answer. So we're going to write solve your equation and check answer. Step 4. Step 4 of our process is to review the question and write your final answer. So review and record answer is how we're going to put that. Now using this 4-step process can be very helpful to solve any problem with patterns. Please pause this page if you need to take a look at it and write it down. Okay, next question is Nancy counted 47 prairie dogs in the field. When a hawk flew over the field, some of the prairie dogs ducked into their burrows. Then Nancy counted 29 prairie dogs. How many prairie dogs ducked into their burrows when the hawk flew over the field? Now, let's look at that 4-step process again as we solve this question. First one, read the problem and identify the pattern. So this one, we've read the problem. We need to identify the pattern. What do you think? What type of pattern do we have? Well, when we look at this, we started with 47, we take some away, and we're left with 29. So this must be a subtraction pattern. We can write that out, what we just said. We start with 47, we take some away, minus x, is equal to 29. You could have called x PD for prairie dogs, or just P for prairie dogs. That would have been fine. You can call it anything you like here. We just don't know what the value is yet. Now let's look back. Step 2, write an equation for the given information. We just did that. Step 3, solve your equation and check the answer. So if we want to solve this equation, we can see that we're going to have to rewrite this somehow so we get a value of x. Now, let's rewrite this subtraction problem as 47 minus 29 is going to be equal to x. Because we know the value of x has to be somewhere between 47 and 29 if we're subtracting it from 47 to get 29. 47 minus 29, we can go through that math on the side. 47 minus 29, borrow from the 4, we've got a 3. 17 minus 9 gives us 8. 3 minus 2 gives us 1, so we have 18. 18 is equal to x. Okay, and x in this case is prairie dogs. Now we need to check our answer. In order to check our answer, we go back to our original equation and we substitute our value of x in to make sure it's true. So we can say 47 minus 18, that should be equal to 29. Let's check and see if it is. We're going to borrow from the 4 so that we can help our 7. We've got 17 minus 8, that's 9. 3 minus 1 is 2, we've got 29. We've checked our answer, we've got it right. Now we can review and record. So when we review, we just want to go back and read the problem one more time to make sure we've solved what they wanted. Nancy counted 47 prairie dogs in the field. When a hawk flew over the field, some of the prairie dogs ducked into their burrows. Then Nancy counted 29 prairie dogs. How many prairie dogs ducked into their burrows when the hawk flew over the field? We did this one right. It was asking how many ducked, how many went away from 47 to get to 29. So our answer is 18 equals x. Now, better answer would be 18 prairie dogs, because we've got a word problem, so we need a unit or a label for our answer. Prairie dogs. And we're all done. Our lesson practice will be on page 55. Make sure you've got your notes completed, and I'll see you during our next class period.